Alrighty. Okay, guys, I am so excited. This end of the month, Magic Week, a lot of things going on. So we kind of condensed some of the calls into one. And I am so excited tonight to have my sweet friend Alita. I don't want to spoil her story, but it's incredible. It is incredible. Go message your people if you don't see them on to make sure they hop on because this is a do not miss call. We will have it recorded also for those people that can't hop on tonight. But Alita is a mom of 10. She just had her 10th baby not too long ago. She's in the thick of it, but she is still building her business. She's a legacy 5-star diamond, and she is incredible. So I know some of you have heard her sing from stage, and she's just so inspiring. She's literally goals, and I've been so inspired by her recently. So on a whim, I was like, Alita, would you be game for sharing on my team call? So she said yes, and I am so grateful for that. But I don't want to take up any more time. Alita, you can take it away, friend.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Well, I was so excited when Megan popped up in my inbox. I was like, okay, the Megan Goff messaging me. Let's go. And we had the pleasure of having her on our team call last night. And literally, my team was freaking out, has been just in total action today. So, doing what she has to share makes so much sense. Getting into action, doing the 3 posts a day has been amazing. Like, just we're in day one of doing that, and already we've all seeing big changes. So, super excited to be on here. And if you're new to Plexus, welcome. We are so excited for you to start your journey with us. It's a very amazing culture. So, Megan and I make no money off of each other. We're actually not on the same team at all, which is so fun, but we share with each other. And so, I think that kind of a culture is just going to win. That's a winning culture where we're just going to being willing to share. And so I wanted to come on tonight and just share a little bit of my story, just a little bit of my journey. And what I hope, my vision, my heart for you to hear tonight is just something that says if she can do it, I can do it. If she's able to push through that, then I'm able to push through this. That's what I hope that you hear is just a confidence and a reminder that we're actually a lot stronger than we think. A reminder that resilience is a gift and that when we go through hard things or hard circumstances, or maybe we're here, we're looking and we're dreaming big and we're hopeful for the first time in a long time that maybe I can bring an extra stream of income to completely change my life. So I'll take you back 10 years. I've been with Plexus for 10 years and I started really skeptical. I started thinking, I'm not into anything with that, with weight loss. I was a homesteader. I taught cheese classes for extra money, like literally had a little wine fridge for my cheeses. Okay. My cheeses lived in my wine fridge and I was like fermenting and doing all the things. I proudly only spent $35 in groceries a week because we raised everything we ate. Okay. Um, and we were homeschooling, like all the things. And I was just really, I preferred to like grow dark things in my cupboards than necessarily take supplements. But I was a believer in supplementation, right? Like I was a believer in that our nutrients, I needed more, I needed extra. And so when I finally agreed to Plexus, funny story that I love to start with is that actually my upline, my friend who I joined, she messaged me y'all for 18 months. She messaged me once a month for 18 months. Like I have 18 messages from her. And by month like 14, 15, around there, I literally was like she wants me. Like she wants me on her team bad. Like I don't know. I don't know what it even means or what her team is, but like she wants me. And what I have learned from that is that when you're in it for the long haul, when you know that you know that you know, if they can do it, I can do it, like I'm here for it, you're willing to prospect and talk and build community with somebody for a long period of time. She didn't message me one time and be like, oh, you ghosted me. I'm not messaging you again. There was actually a period of 4 months where I didn't respond at all. And she still messaged me. And she would just tell me the truth. She was authentic with me. She would say, "You're a community builder. You're so naturally gifted in these areas." And she would just tell me what I was good at. And as a stay-at-home mom at the time with 4 little kids, that was more than just Plexus for me. That was actually life-giving to me in that season of my life. It actually gave me a little confidence. And so how powerful it is that we have something that we get to reach out about that actually is just uplifting the friends in your life right now, right? So That's where it started. Okay. After 18 months of being messaged and her wanting me on her team, I was like, okay, fine. I'll try your products. I'm going to read through the ingredients. And I was pumped. I was like, this is everything I'm already taking, but it tastes disgusting. So let me try yours and see if it tastes good. And there was a lot of like, I was actually spending more money in bulk supplementation than I was if I was just take the triplex. And so I was really excited about that. And I was really drawn to the ProBio 5. Now, I'm not like a doctor or Jessica Hugendorn or anything like that. Like I'm not like a product nerd, but I was fascinated by the products. I started taking them and felt amazing. I naturally started sharing with my friends. My actual first post, what it said, another one bites the dust, because in our homeschool group, I was the last one to try Plexus with our friend Jennifer. And so I finally tried it. I was like, okay, I actually really love this stuff. I had more energy. I was just feeling better. So I start sharing. I immediately was like, okay, because, and this is part of the story, because she had prospected me and reached out to me and messaged me and told me I'd be amazing at the business. I really went in way more confident about the business than I would if I had just started the products and she'd never mentioned it to me before. So when it came time and I was like, okay, I'm loving the product, she's like, let's go. So she's like, first step, grab 3 people. And she told me, she goes, grab a running buddy. And I don't hear it as much anymore. Maybe on this team, you guys still preach it from the mountaintops, but I just have been reminded like that's a really good thing I need to say more and more. I grabbed a running buddy. When she didn't answer my call, this true story, I put my kids in my 2008 Suburban. I drove to where she worked with 4 kids. I want you to picture the scene, okay? She only has one child. She has an only child. I show up with my 4 kids in my Suburban, my farm Suburban. I get out of the car and I'm like, you're going to do this with me. I cannot wait. Like, you're going to love it. She was like, what? She said, what is it? She goes, is it illegal? And will Jesus still love me? And I was like, yes, you're going to be fine. Because I was like, my upline is making like $30,000 a month. And I've watched her go from being broke, like literally watched this girl go from having her electric cut off, her water cut off, because they couldn't afford it, to literally driving a Lexus, like getting a bigger house, the whole thing. And so I was like, I know it works. And so she joined me. So we started the business together and just started running. And so I was 9 months into my Plexus journey when my husband unexpectedly passed away. And when he passed away, I normally just kind of run through this story because I think nobody really wants to hear all this. But I'm going to just kind of stay here for a second because I think it's really powerful what Plexus provided for me and my children during that time. My world was wrecked. Like, I need everyone to hear that. Like, I feel like sometimes when I'm sharing it, I don't really express how much like that destroyed my in so many ways. Just everything I knew to be true, all my dreams, like everything just felt completely shattered in that time. And the reason I say that is because I think that it doesn't matter what's going on in our life, whether it's a tragedy or sometimes it's just midlife seasons, like hard seasons. There's just that absolute hopelessness that can sometimes take over and start whispering to us like it's not worth it or you can't do it or everything's over. Everything's over. Like that was kind of the feeling I was having was like, where do I go now? What does this look like now? And it was very tragic. And we have 4 children, 6 and under, and just the whole picture was bleak for me in that moment. And it just happened that 2 weeks before he passed away, Sonia Dudley, who is a respected diamond in Plexus, who I just love so much, hosted this mindset training. And I was like, mindset training. I'm like, I don't need mindset training. And I don't even know what that is. Like, I was kind of like freaked out. Like, I don't know what that is. But I was like, I'm going to go because everybody was going. So I was like, I'm going to go. So I went and I tell Sonya this all the time. I'm like, that changed my life to be able to focus, to be able to realize in that course, what I understood that day, that seminar, whatever, was that I had a choice. That's what I walked away from. I have a choice what I think. I have a choice what I what I do. I have a choice what I'm creating up here. And so that really helped. So about a couple days after he passed away, I woke up and I just was like, had a moment with God. And I'm like, okay, like I'm at a clear crossroads here. I choose to take this road, which is just copping out, like just giving in because nobody would blame me and nobody would be like, don't do that. Or I take the road less traveled. Okay, Robert Frost here. I take the road less traveled and I choose to be victorious. I choose to live a life where my children rise and call me blessed. I choose to put on the armor of God and live up to what I believe is my full potential. So I loaded my kids back in my 2008 Suburban. Now it is stickered with Plexus because my late husband was like, I want you to be my sugar mama. That's what he told me. It's like, you should do this. Let's go. He was actually the reason I started the business because he was really like, you need to do this. So very providential for me. Um, and I'm driving with my stickered Plexus car, and people from Tennessee always talk about my Plexus car. They laugh because like everybody knew that I did Plexus, obviously. I was sold out, but I went to the Home Depot and I got tub tile because I couldn't afford a dry erase marker board at the time because those are like millions of dollars. Okay. They were so expensive. And I was like, I'm not gonna do it. And I tub tile. I was like, just cut me the biggest piece of tub tile. And I came home and I took my power tools and I like was shooting nails and shooting staples. And now listen, I'm not saying go vandalize your house. You don't have to do that to be successful in this, but I knew it was going to extraordinary circumstances was going to take an extraordinary mindset. And I knew that I needed to pour faith and into myself. And I needed to realize that the person I was going to be spending the darkest times with was myself. And that I really wanted to speak scriptures over myself, speak whatever the strongest quotes you have that you believe, right? And then things that I wanted to be. And so on there was, I want to be I'm going to be diamond. I'm going to have this. I'm going to be, my children are going to rise and call me. I'm going to do it this way. And so every morning I had no choice but to read it because it was right there in front of my bed and I would read all these things. And by 4 months in, it was like I was a different person. And it was like you couldn't keep me down. And people are like, what is going on? Like, your husband's just died, like, all this stuff's going on. And I was just promoting. Like, I went ruby, senior ruby, emerald. And what I believe that changed was who I became in that process to get there. And so then once I hit emerald, I was really just like, I knew that I was like, this opportunity can literally change people's lives. I was making a six-figure income. I was able to give more as a new widowed woman than I did when I was married and staying at home farming. And I was able to put my children in a small private school that felt comfortable to me. I was able to just do a lot more things during that time of my life than I ever could have had I not. And I will add this too also, we had no life insurance. So it wasn't like I had a backup support. Like it was like, this is it. And what I realized is that the secret to this business is there is no secret. The thing that you really need to do is it's conversations, right? It's having as many conversations as you can. And the thought I always love to tell myself is my business is one conversation away from being exactly where I want to be. And how many conversations am I willing to have to get there quickly? And so what happens, I think, when you change your mindset to be victorious and to be a winner is that you naturally strip the fear. You just stop being so fearful and you just go for it. When you have a clear vision of what you want, you just don't listen to all the extra stuff. Like I just didn't care what my friends thought. I didn't care what anyone else thought. Like I was just like, I'm here to do this for me and my family. And it's very natural for us to be scared. It's very natural for us to fear what other people think. It is normal to do that. And I just told myself, I don't want to be normal. I want to be uncommon. I want to be the person, because success is not normal, right? Success is somebody who said, I'm just going to do it in spite of being afraid. I'm going to do it in spite of feeling nervous. I'm going to do it in spite of my circumstances. So 4 to 5 months after my husband, I guess 6 months. So he passed in June. My mom, who was just like my best friend, my rock, everything, passes away in January from pancreatic cancer. It was a quick diagnosis, quick passing. I flew to Canada with 4 kids by myself, 6 and under. Okay, it was literally like torture on the airplane. So we just flew with all 10 of our kids. We just got back a couple weeks ago, and someone was like, "Well, how was the flight?" I was like, "Honestly, it was great." And then I thought, "Why would I think that?" I'm like, "Well, because I flew with 4 kids by myself. Anything compared to that was like, I'm like, this is a dream. Like, this is no problem. We have so much help." Um, but I just went through, to say I went through, and then my dad passed away very shortly after that. So I had just had very little tragedy in my life, and then all of a sudden it was all like within 1 year. And I really learned so much about myself, but also about how adversity and how God can use these really hard trials to bring out the strength in us, to really make us realize like you are more capable than you ever imagined. And it's like I would picture this like potential just underneath the surface. Like we all have just this so much potential. And it's like we just sit on there and we're like, well, I can't share my talents and I can't share what I have because I'm scared, because I'm nervous. So I'm just going to kind of shrink down and stay here. And what adversity does is it just reminds you of what you're capable of. Every time you share a message, every time you share a post, every time you do something you're afraid of, you tell your brain, I didn't die. Like I'm good. I'm good. And you get stronger, right? And if you've been with Plexus for any amount of time, you know this is true. The first post you make, you're nervous. By your second year, you're posting and you're like not even thinking about it, right? You're just like, whatever, like I'm just posting, who cares? You grow your comfort zone. And I think what's so special and amazing about growing our comfort zone is that the more we push it, the more we expand, the more people we impact in that. And as we push through those things. And so sometimes the temptation is to let that overwhelm come in. Sometimes the temptation is to let the feelings, right, overtake what we're actually wanting to do. And it's like I tell my kids, hard things come to remind you what you want. Hard things come to remind you what you want. How bad do you want to make that team? If you want to make that team really bad, you're going to get up early, you're going to practice, and you're going to work for it, and you're going to do the things, right? And so sometimes we have to look at adversity as here for our good. And so that's something I really clung to when I was just going through my really hard times, is I'd be like, what's here to discourage me is actually here to develop me. It's here developing me. It's here training me. I'm in training ground and I'm pushing through. So every time you choose to send the message, do the call, do the chats, whatever it is that you have to do, every time you choose that, amidst chaos, amidst feeling like you don't want to, amidst doing it when you don't want to, you're actually improving, and it's tolerance for the repetitions. So this quote I just was like obsessed with, and Ed Milet was talking about just finding joy in the process, finding joy and falling in love with it. Like I'm a Plexus lifer. Like if Alec and Tarl were a band, like I'm part of your band, guys. Like I ain't going nowhere. Like I'm part of the OG band. Like I'm here forever because, well, number one, I'm just loyal. Like that's just who I am. Like I'm loyal to the bone, and like I'm obsessed with Plexus. Like I've never been as excited as I am now about where Plexus is going and what they're doing. And when you can band together and really kind of get into that, and you realize this is the long game, like it's okay. Like we're here for the long haul. We're going to do it. You can do this authentically and not from a place of desperation, but from a place of passion and excitement. And passion comes when you start to build your confidence by doing. So don't look for the passion first. You don't have to have that passion first. Sometimes we don't feel passionate. Like when I've got little kids hanging off of me and I'm nursing and I'm trying to message, like I don't always feel like who wants paint drink? Woo! Right? Like I don't always feel that way, but I know that I'm going to get to that place of confidence. And so I think just knowing that there's, okay, thank you, buddy. I'll come in a second. Thank you. Just my 4-year-old just helping out around here. But really what he was taught, so Ed Milet was talking about really falling in love with the process of understanding that not everything is going to go perfectly and you're going to have doubts. And actually, when you're feeling doubt, he said that is a sure sign that you're on the right path, that you're doing the right thing, because anything extraordinary and anything worth doing is going to cause you to get out of your comfort zone. It's going to stretch you. It's going to make you feel nervous. It's going to make you feel like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. And doing it anyway is actually the road less traveled. And the more that we can do that, the more that we push into that feeling of like, I'm doing it anyway, right? Then you're going to see success. And he talked about, I loved this too. He said, the hardest part of success is the unseeable, right? It's the progress that you don't see. It's invisible progress that is happening under the surface that you just don't see. It's when the it's when everything compounds, right? When your consistency compounds, and you hear that all the time. It's like just small consistency. It will compound. It will. And you can't see. It's like going to the gym. It's going to the gym. And you're 2 weeks in and you're like, why can't I see any changes at all? It's that invisible progress that is happening for you in Plexus every day that you choose a small, consistent action. It's going to compound. It's going to. It's absolutely going to. And he said the difference between the goods and the greats are the people that they have a higher tolerance. And this is where I think Megan is just an absolute star. They have a higher tolerance for the repetition. So, where is your tolerance for repetition? So, I would have told you, like, I'm a spontaneous, fun, like, I like just the shiny new things, like, just send me all the things. Sometimes messaging feels monotonous. Sometimes posting feels monotonous, but it's a tolerance for the repetitions. That's what's going to get you to be as many star diamond as you want to be. How committed to the process of the repetitions are you? The next thing that I want to talk to you about is deadlines, is setting deadlines for yourself, setting mini deadlines. That makes people very successful. Stop giving yourself waiting to the last week of the month to do it, but really setting those mini deadlines. Like, I'm going to message 3 business messages every day. That is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to message my accountability partner when I'm done. And we're going to sweat and we're going to be nervous and we're going to do all the things, but we're going to do it. And we're going to send those 3 messages and I'm going to check in and say, yes, this is what we're doing, right? It's simple. It's simple stuff. But when you set those deadlines and you're doing those reps, you cannot, I can guarantee you will not be successful. You're going to be successful. Success is, I was a 5-year diamond. It took me 5 years to get to diamond. I did not go diamond overnight. I did not go diamond in 11 months. It took me 5 years to go diamond. And I had a lot of tragedy happening in my life. I had a lot of rebuilding happening in my life towards the end of it, which is really awesome. That's the great part. But during that, I had to just stay consistent. I wasn't doing anything crazy. Like, I couldn't. I was a single mom with 4 grieving kids. Like, I could not be doing just tons of stuff. I never was a crazy high recruiter. I wasn't recruiting 20, 30, 40 people in a month. I was recruiting 3. I would tell myself the price to play the game is 3. I'm going to bring in 3 and I'm committed and dedicated to duplicating with those 3 every single month. Consistency compounds. Consistency compounds. So when you get these bursts of energy to do something and then you stop and then you get a burst of energy, it's like just focusing on what you can do and just doing it consistently and be like, my head will not hit the pillow until I've sent out my messages, because I got to have my 3, right? My deadline is every month I'm having my 3. So I'm 10 years in and every month I have 3. Like, sometimes I have more, sometimes I'm dedicated to that, right? So that's my deadline and those are my reps. And that's the consistency that I know will compound over time, and really focusing in on those things. And so when I hit Sapphire, I was at 3,007 points in March. I had just gotten remarried. He was also widowed. I did a call for Jill Renfro the other night. She's like, you need to tell that part of your story too. I was like, oh yeah. I got remarried to an amazing man and just absolute treasure. And he had 3 children. He was widowed as well. He had 3 children. And so we had 7 together. And then we had 3 more kids together because it was fun. And so we have 10 kids all together, all under our household, all the things. And so we're building a family, we're blending all this stuff. And I was at 3,007 points and I was a sapphire. And I was just like, okay, I'm ready to hit diamond. And I just felt impressed upon me to start something with my team that was called a Power 30. And we would meet every morning for 30 minutes just for whoever could hop on. It was just during the day, it was in the morning. And I was just like, I just need something where I'm showing up consistently. And I knew that if that was going to help me, I figured it might help some other people. So we started off, and this is just a really good example of consistency compounding. So that was in February. In February, I started it. We had 3 people on a sapphire size team coming to this Power 30. Okay. I had 3 people. So at first people were like, oh, we got other stuff going on. I was like, okay. Tempted to quit, tempted to just throw it out and be like, it ain't working. Okay. March rolls around. My points increased just a little bit. It was like, I can't remember exactly my points in March, which is funny. I remember them in February, but I don't remember March. April rolls around. All of a sudden, it just starts to blow up. We have 86 people on there at 9:30 in the morning. I'm like, don't y'all have jobs? Like, where are you coming from? So now I'm just like, what is happening? So Monday, Tuesday, I was running it 5 days a week. I would pray, I would do prayer, and then I would do like a motivational thing. And then we would work for like 10 minutes. It was like a 30-minute thing. I had 10 minutes of prayer, 10 minutes of this, 10 minutes of that. And by Friday, it was just like we were just like exploding. And so I went diamond, re-entry diamond in April, okay, from 3,007 points in February. So what I want you to know is that, did I see that coming February 1st with 3 people like being like, what up? Like, we got this. No, but I just knew somewhere, somehow. And it was like, it's going to happen. Like at some point, I'm going to have that story. At some point, it's going to just manifest. It's going to happen. Like I'm going to see it. And what I learned in that season of time was that when I finally hit diamond, it was like, I was just like, yeah, okay. Like I had felt it for so long. I had felt it for so long. I had been behaving like a diamond for so long that it was like, okay, here we are. This feels right. This feels right now. And I was able to maintain that. So a lot of times in my journey, I would hit a rank and I'd be like, whew, I hit it. Okay, great. And I'd kind of kick back and relax, right? Like I'd kind of slow back off my messaging. I'd slow back off my posting. I'd slow my roll with the things. I'm like, I hit it. Instead of realizing that this is so much about who we become in the process of it, so that it should feel like, oh my gosh, great. Like that's perfect because I was already working that much anyway. I was already doing those habits anyway. And so really looking at your schedule, okay? And this is, I don't know how many moms we have on here, but this I'm going to speak specifically to just having a lot of children and having a busy life. And I know Megan does too, but um, when you have a big life, maybe a job, whatever it is outside of plexus, it can feel challenging sometimes to balance that all and to feel like you're giving both your best. And so what I learned is that I needed to give my business some space. So for me, that meant I needed to hire some help. That meant I needed to look at some ways to offload some other things or say no to things that I was saying yes to be able to incorporate diamond behaviors. And so when I think of a diamond behavior, I think of consistency compounding. I think of leading a movement and a community of people. I think of touching base with my leaders. I think of keeping up with my own personal business. And then also just leaving room for me to be creative, leaving room for me to be inspired, leaving room for me to also enjoy life, right? And so um those are all important to me. I want to have time for my kids. I want to have time for my business. And so really making that part of my impact, part of my ministry, part of my anything that I'm doing, it's like plexus is that for me. And so I want to make space for it. And so my team is teasing me right now because they're like, we're creating space. Because I'm always saying it now. I'm like, create space. You got to create space. Because here's what happens. You start doing the work and then work works. Come on, I'm talking to somebody because work works. And then all of a sudden now you're like, well, dang it. Like my post blew up. Megan's like, post this post. I'm like, dang it, Megan. So I post it and then bam, I've got like 16 people who are like, more info, please. And some of them I know, I'm like, you're not going to purchase. Like, I know you. You're going to be like, I thought it was free. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But I'm going through and I'm like, this is why I create space for my business because this is what gets stressful is when I'm working, work works. And so then I'm like, it's going to drum up work. So if you notice yourself dragging your feet when you're like, okay, maybe Megan is like puts out or Cassie or someone puts out something for your team and they're like, okay, do this. This is working and it's amazing. If you notice yourself waiting, if you notice yourself kind of like, I don't know, hesitant, I want to challenge you to ask yourself, is it because the work might work and you don't have the space? And so really making that decision of like, okay, I'm going to do this post and I'm committed to just maybe staying up a little bit later. I'm committed to just maybe taking out the Netflix for an extra hour tonight. I'm committed to getting up earlier. So, and here's where I feel like I love sharing my story because I feel like no one's going to tell the poor widowed woman, like, oh no, I have it harder than you. Okay. So, this is where I get to really speak just some truth to you guys is that there is nothing stopping you from being successful in this. There is nothing. When I was a single mom, I was up late sometimes. I had, I had a small baby, so I was still up through the night with a baby, and I was still getting up early. I was getting up 5:30, doing my work, getting it in because I needed kid-free space to work my business. And sometimes that looked like, I don't know about you moms with littles, but you know this. It's like you get up at 5:30 and they're like, I'm gonna get up at 5:41, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, no, I need this time. But I would just make it work. I was getting up earlier, I would stay up late, I would make sure nap time happened. I would maybe have someone come over, help me with the kids while I worked, even though I didn't leave the house. Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. But it was just a priority to me because I knew long term this was going to be absolutely worth it. And I was going to make it. I was going to do it no matter what. And when you feel that way, when you're just like, I'm here for the long haul, I'm here for the diamond, I'm here for the diamond paycheck, I'm here for the diamond impact, I'm here for the diamond community, I'm here for the mindset and the personal growth to become the person, the woman, the wife, the mother I really know that I can be, but I feel so stressed by just the normals of everyday life. Like you don't have to live that way, and you really can get to a place where there's just so much more peace and freedom. So even though I have a larger organization than I've ever had before, and even though I have more responsibility than I've ever had before, and even though right now I have more kids than I've ever had before, right? I actually feel more peace. I feel less stress. I feel more fun. I feel more spontaneous, even though I'm the most disciplined I've ever been. I am the most disciplined in this season of my life than I've ever been. And what I realized is that that self-discipline is actually freedom. I have more free time than I ever had before because that discipline allows you to make small changes, bring small habits in, and you're doing it every day. And you're not dealing with the head trash up here of, oh my gosh, I've got so much to do. So my husband and I have this rule with each other. It's like if we say something more than two or three times, like I've got to get this done, I've got to do this, or I need to implement this, it's like, okay, what's the plan? When's it actually happening? We're not just going to be talkers about it. We're going to actually execute. And execution is so incredibly important. When you have the idea, when someone says to you, you should make this post, when someone throws out a challenge to you, just do it. Just take a big deep breath and just do it, right? Take that immediate action. Overthinking kills more dreams and more businesses than I've personally seen on my team ever. Overthinking. worrying about what other people think, overthinking every move you make that needs to be perfection. It doesn't. Be willing to just put yourself out there. I can tell you that you want to talk about true concern. I remember when my husband passed away thinking, how do I get on social media and share about a pink drink? Like, that was super hard to figure out. And what I realized is I just told myself, who cares? Who cares? Like, I'm just going to be real. Like, I'd be like, today was a tough day. I'm so grateful for these products because they're keeping my body healthy during a really hard time. And it's helping me raise my kids. Like, this is it for me. And I would just share authentically. And I'm telling you, my business absolutely boomed from that authenticity. And so, what I learned from that time is that you don't have to have extreme hardships to understand this, and you don't have to have extreme hopelessness to understand what we have here. Like our opportunity, when I realized how special our opportunity is and how much money you can really make, it was like you could not stop me. Like, I just felt so on fire for just getting money in godly women's hands to be like, let's make a difference. Let's link arms and make a difference. And I just saw diamond as not this like star-studded thing, but really as just an empowering way to make change around me. I wanted to be able to do scholarships up the road at our, private little preschool for widowed moms and single moms. So like my husband and I were able to do that. And like no one will ever know what that feels like because I actually had that done for me. Like somebody paid for my babies to go to school for a year and it was like I remember just being like God loves me, like oh my gosh, like I wouldn't have been able to. I no life insurance, like I just didn't, like what was I going to do? And my parents are dying. Like it was horrible. And yet I still showed up on social media and I still woke up early and I still loved on my kids and I still just showed up for my team the best I could. But always throughout that was this mindset of I've got this. Like I can do this. Like I can do hard things. And there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and this won't feel like this forever. And I can be successful in this, and I can accomplish this, and I can do this. And it was just there was no flashiness about it. It was just that simple fact that I was pouring that encouragement into myself of like I can do this. And here's what I know that I know that I know is that if I can do it through every like crazy Job story that you can think of, then I know that you can do it. And I know that it just takes that decision making of deciding like that I can do it no matter how long it takes, no matter what it takes, no matter what I'm doing. And I'm doing, sip and sees and I'm doing, in-person stuff and I'm doing messaging and I'm whatever. And I'm doing it all with 4 little kids in tow. And it's like my kids now, my 6-year-old who was 6 at the time his dad passed away, he's 16. It's been 10 years. He's 16. And he will say like just the sweetest things that just absolutely warm my heart. Like he's like a man now. He's like 6'3" and he's like a football player and he's like, he'll say, I'll hear him say things to his friends. Like, he's just like, my mom is like, my mom's rich. My mom, he told a teacher one time when he was young, he's like, my mom quit school, like in 2nd grade. Like she didn't need school because she did Plexus. And I'm like, well, that's not totally accurate. But his level of respect for what I did, I did what I said I was going to do. And he watched that is means so much to me that he was able to see that. And so even when we think, "Oh, I don't want to like take time for my kids or I don't want to take," it's like this is for them too. This is absolutely for them. And my kids all love Plexus. They think this business is just the best in the world. They all want to do this business when they grow up. Like they are like, this is, I mean, who doesn't work from home? Who doesn't just make lots of money and get to like take their kids to movies during the school week and stuff? It's like I I'm able to enjoy the fruits of that labor with them. And so every bit of that, I really don't struggle with mom guilt around really working my business because I feel like they get to see a powerful side of their mom. They get to see a woman who does what she says she's going to do and shows up and does the hard things even when I don't feel like it. I show up with the discipline, and I would not know any of that without Plexus. I would not know any of that personal growth without having this. So it has just completely changed my world. And I would just say, really look at your business and ask yourself, am I doing everything I can do? And do I have a little bit of space on the end of doing what I'm doing to create, because work works and I want to be able to work the work, right? I want to be able to respond to the messages. I want to be able to respond to the comments. And I know this sounds really simple, and probably most of you on here are like, well, I'm already doing that. And that's awesome. But in case you need that reminder, is like, just give yourself a little space. Like after a call, don't just like run just back out to your family. Maybe message a couple people and be like, hey, did you happen to hop on that call? I just want to check in on you, or I missed you on the call tonight. Here's the recording, whatever it is. But just doing the little bit of extra and having that kind of bookends on your workday, creating that space for your work. And remember, it's the habits that we create that lead to diamond. It's not going to be some month that just explodes and then, there's nothing ever again. You want to create the habits that create the diamond so that you can keep the diamond, so that you can keep that paycheck, so you can keep that team, you can keep those things. And really, because there's an ebb and flow to every business, always. No matter what business you're in, there's ebb and flow to it. So that's okay. But if you have the habits, you can ride that ebb and flow no problem, right? You're not going to be in your head feeling like, I don't know what I'm doing. It's like, yeah, you do. I know this road. This road is consistency compounds, and I trust the process. Fall in love with the process, trust that process, and know that where it's leading is something absolutely beautiful, and who you're becoming in that process is just absolutely, I mean, mind blowing. It's truthfully mind blowing who I am now compared to who I was when I started. So that's what I got, Megan. I hope that was okay.
That's so good. Oh my goodness. Can you guys pop in the chat and thank her, and also throw a takeaway? Throw a takeaway in the chat, because repetition is the key to learning. And of all the words that she shared, probably all of us, all 33 of us, there's almost 40 of us on a minute ago, probably have a different little tidbit that spoke to your heart. I know for me, the grab a running buddy. Oops, my internet's being weird again. The grab a running buddy, the I choose to be victorious, living up to my full potential. The secret is no secret. Work works, create space. It's all so good. So, so good. There was a question about when you're recruiting 3 a month. Are you recruiting 3 for the business or 3 for products, or what's your process in that?
Great question. I love that. So I'm like, especially in the beginning of my business, beggars cannot be choosers. Like I was not like, oh, you have to be here for the business. Um, For me, it was 3 of any or each, but I typically lead with the business and fall back on the products. That's just kind of my natural thing, though. That's what I do. I'm like, hey, you'd be amazing at this. First step is to try the products. Like that's kind of where I land, but I wouldn't say I necessarily recruit 3 business builders right out of the gate, like straight up for the business. So just 3 people.
Love it. So good. Okay. So we have all of the inspiration, and we definitely don't have any excuses with hearing honestly. It's life is life is amazing at giving perspective, and when you hear someone that has been through the fire, literally the fire, then I feel like it's a shame on us if we're going to complain about the whatever the little thing is, right? Or maybe you're going through a big thing too, also give room for that as well. But I think Alita is a testament that you can still make this work, and just despite all the odds and the hardships and the trials, and that God's in it. God's in those moments and in those decision times. And she made a choice. She made the uncommon choice. And no one would have faulted her for choosing a different path, but she made the uncommon choice. And her kids are standing in the gates blessing her for what 10 years later they see. They understand more of what she actually did. And I was reminded 10 years ago, this is interesting. Justin remembers Tarl saying, in quoting this, we want to build a legacy business that your kids can be proud of. And so in terms of like we were talking about she was talking about the long game perspective. Keep the long game in your mind, because you never know who you're going to inspire in the process of all of that. And if no one else, it may be your kids the most because they've watched you build something, and they're going to take those things, those learning lessons, and apply it to their own life, which is even better. It's just the best. Oh, Alita, thank you so much for popping on tonight. So many
Yes,
good
thank
takeaways.
you. Well, thanks for having me. Thank you so much.
Yes. All righty. Well, get
Appreciate
back to
it.
your babies. And you guys, Magic Week, we're going to make some things happen. Talk to you
Let's
guys
go.
soon. All
Let's
right.
do it.
Yes. See you guys.
Bye.